about a certain subject, and there are no right or wrong answers in this test. The test is designed to help candidates communicate clearly by responding to your questions. The key to running successful speaking tests in your centre is to be completely prepared. A few weeks before the test, you will be sent a copy of the teacher's examiner's notes and 2 sets of speaking assessment cards. These documents must not be opened until 1 working day before the exam. These materials must remain confidential and must be kept in a secure place by the centre until the end of the examination period. Well in advance of the test, you must find a suitable room to conduct the speaking test, with 2 chairs and a table or desk in between. The room must be quiet and free from disturbances. Examination conditions must be in place at all times. Candidates must not communicate with each other or share the contents of the card. Download the speaking examination summary form and fill in the centre details and candidates' names and numbers. You should fill in the candidates' names and numbers in the same numerical order that they appear in the mark sheet MS1. This form can be found on the Cambridge Samples database. Before the tests begin, you need to check your stopwatch and recording equipment. The recording equipment must be of good quality, and you must make sure that the candidates can be heard clearly throughout the whole test. 1 working day before the speaking test, you will need to open the speaking assessment cards and the teacher examiner's notes. Use this time to familiarise yourself with the topics and to think about the questions you might ask. Once the materials have been opened, they must be stored securely whenever they're not being used to prepare or conduct live speaking tests. You must not share this information with anyone, and the speaking test materials must remain confidential until after the results inquiry period. On the day of the speaking test, check your recording device. The candidate must be able to be heard clearly. Place the recording device closer to the candidate, or if possible, use 2 microphones, one for you and one for the candidate. Each CD should begin with a clear statement giving the centre number, centre name, examination syllabus details, examiner name, and date. Check that your equipment is charged or has batteries and the CD or USB you're using has enough space. Check that your room is ready for the candidates. It should be a quiet room, away from noise and distractions. Reread the speaking assessment cards. In the exam room, you should take a stopwatch, recording equipment with spare batteries or a charger, pens, pencils, a glass of water, teacher's examiner's notes, the speaking examination summary form, form MS1, speaking assessment cards, and the speaking assessment criteria grid. You cannot bring dictionaries or mobile phones. Candidates' phones are not permitted in the test. During the speaking test, candidates must be examined on their own, and the speaking test must be conducted in English all the way through. The whole speaking test should last about 10 to 15 minutes. Once the recording of the test has begun, it must not be paused. Even though Part D is the only assessed part of the test, you must record the whole test, Parts A, B, C, and D. The speaking test has 4 parts. Part A, welcome and introduction. Part B, warm-up, which lasts 2 to 3 minutes. Part C, preparation period, which also lasts 2 to 3 minutes. And Part D, the assessed conversation, which lasts between 6 and 9 minutes, with a total time of between 10 and 15 minutes. All parts of the speaking test must be recorded, but only Part D is assessed. Part A, welcome and introduction. Start the recording as soon as the candidate has sat down. Give the candidate's name and number and welcome the candidate and explain briefly what's going to happen in each part of the speaking test. The examiner script for this part is provided in the teacher's notes. And remember, Part A is not assessed.
Morning, Hujin. My name's Mrs. King. I'm your examiner today. I'll start the recording and then explain the test to you. Centre number AB123. Centre name, International College. Examination, IGCSE 0510, English as a second language. Examiner name, Mrs. S. King. Date, 16th of April 2018. Candidate number 1234, Candidate name Hoojin Park.
Remember that you need to start recording as soon as the candidate enters the room.
Okay, Hoojin. First, we'll have a 2 to 3 minute general discussion about your interests and life outside school. This part isn't assessed. Then I'll give you an assessment card, which has the topic we will discuss in the last part of the test. You'll have 2 to 3 minutes to read the 5 prompts on the card to prepare for this part. You can't make any written notes, but you can ask me to explain anything you don't understand. Finally, we'll have a discussion based on the 5 prompts on the card and any ideas of your own on the topic. This part lasts 6 to 9 minutes and is the only part that is assessed. You may keep the assessment card until the end of the test.
Take this time to ensure the candidate is clear about the structure of the test and what will happen at each stage. Part B, warm-up. Put the candidate at ease by conducting a short conversation, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, on general topics and the candidate's hobbies and interests. Give the candidate time to get used to the exam situation. Decide on a suitable speaking assessment card for the candidate, and remember, Part B is not assessed, but still needs to be recorded.
So, do you have any questions?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, we'll start the test then. So, tell me, Hoojin, what do you like doing in your free time?
I usually lie in my bed to use my phone.
Okay.
I live in my host family, with my host family.
All right.
Yeah, I usually talk with my host family and homemate. Yeah, one of them came from Thailand, one of them came from Swaziland. Yeah.
Do you spend time with them at the weekends? Do you do anything with them?
Nothing special, but we have to have a dinner and breakfast
Right.
with them. Yeah.
So you
yeah.
talk to them
Yeah,
then?
talk to them and maybe for 1 hour, 2 hours. Yeah.
Do you have any other interests or things you like doing in your free time other than lying in your bed?
And I watch film or video to use my Netflix.
Right.
Yeah,
So you use
yeah,
Netflix?
yeah. And nowadays I try to watch movie without subtitles. Yeah, maybe it is very good for my English skill. Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah,
And do you like travelling at all?
yeah. I like.
Where have you been? Tell me some of the places you've been.
Last weekend I went to York.
Did you like York?
I actually so. Yeah, so. Yeah, but quite good and very energetic city. Yeah, I felt. Yeah.
Have you been to any foreign countries?
I went to Holland.
Holland
Yeah, and Spain.
and Spain.
Yeah.
Did you like Spain?
Yeah, weather was so nice, better than UK.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
yeah, better than UK. But food is so. Yeah, it was very salty.
Was it?
Yeah.
And that was in Barcelona, did you say you went to?
Barcelona and Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
And was there a difference in the food between the two places?
No, I think similar.
Seemed about the
Yeah,
same.
it was similar. Yeah, but it was very salty.
This section should help you see which card you're going to choose for the candidate. Part C, preparation period. Select one of the speaking assessment cards for the candidate. This must take place after the warm-up. Give the candidate 2 to 3 minutes to prepare, and in this time, the candidate may ask questions. Any necessary explanations should be given at this point. Candidates must not make notes during this period. Candidates must keep their speaking assessment card for the rest of the test, and remember, the preparation period must be recorded. The speaking assessment card needs to remain with the candidate for the whole time. Each speaking assessment card has a topic for discussion between the examiner and the candidate, together with 5 prompts to help the conversation. Students are not allowed to use dictionaries or write anything down.
I'm going to give you assessment card B, which is B journeys. So you have 2 to 3 minutes to look at this. You can ask me any questions if there's anything there you don't understand, but you can't make any written notes. Okay?
Okay. I'm ready to start.
Try to encourage the candidate to use their full 2 to 3 minutes to prepare for the speaking test. You can answer any questions that the candidate might have, but do not give the candidates any ideas about what they could say.
Oh, no, please take a little bit more time. You have 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So just read through it again, and then I'll tell you when we're going to start.
Okay. Can I ask something?
Yes, please do.
What does make regularly mean?
Regularly, if you make a journey regularly, it's something you do either every day or every week, or perhaps 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
It's not something you just do once.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Okay, Eugene, are you ready to start?
Yeah.
The candidate can ask you questions about the meanings of words and for further clarification, but they must not write anything down. Let the candidate keep the card for the rest of the test. You should not make any notes while the candidate is speaking. This is the speaking assessment criteria grid. Part D is assessed on structure out of 10, vocabulary out of 10, and development and fluency also out of 10. You will need to give each candidate a mark out of 10 for each of the criteria, and then add these together to give a mark out of 30. You will find the speaking assessment criteria grid in the syllabus and teacher's examiner notes. Part D, assessed conversation. Use each of the 5 prompts on the speaking assessment card in the order that they appear on the card. Ask additional questions of your own based on the candidate's responses. Aim to spend an equal amount of time on each prompt. Don't let the candidate deliver a monologue. This should be a discussion. And remember, this is the only part of the test to be assessed.
Right, so many people make regular journeys, either short or long. Can you tell me about a journey or journeys that you or people you know make regularly?
The examiner can use the opening sentence to help start the conversation.
I know one person who make regularly for journey.
Who's that?
The person is my mother. Yeah. My family reason is Buddhism. and my mother always